Hey there, Jenn Dize here with Status Coup, and I'm here with an update for you on the Iowa caucus results. I know you're well aware that the caucus took place Monday evening, and typically we would have gotten results pretty soon after. Well, that didn't quite happen. We've done a lot of reporting on this. There was a new app that was developed by former Hillary staffers and backed by Pete Buttigieg supporters. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. Long story short, and please check out our other videos for more reporting on what I just hinted at. Long story short, things did not work out as planned. So it wasn't until Tuesday, a day after the caucuses, that we actually got 62% of the results in. And surprise, they showed Pete Buttigieg in the lead. So a lot of people were wondering, why. Obviously, it's really screwed up and bad that they weren't able to, the Iowa Democratic Party wasn't able to release the results right away. But at least we thought they were going to take the time to count everything properly and then release the results once they were ready. So better to have accurate results than release quick results, right? Well, it turns out this all seems pretty planned. So this slow roll of the Iowa caucus results, a slow roll release, seems pretty designed to give Pete Buttigieg a major bump in the eyes of the media and the eyes of the public. So now we have this narrative where yesterday, Tuesday, they released 62% of the results, Pete Buttigieg in the lead. So now, Wednesday, we've had a full day of Mayor Pete being able to declare victory. Now, let's be clear, Mayor Pete declared victory before any results were in. He declared victory at 0 results in. But he has continued to do so and has continued to use the fact that every media chyron, when you look at CNN, there it is, Pete Buttigieg in the lead. He's able to declare victory, and whether or not he's able to, in the end, when we have the full results, claim victory or not, we still don't know. This is a victory because the candidates have moved on to New Hampshire. And the whole point of Iowa is it's first in the nation. It doesn't have that many delegates, but it is the perception of who wins gives that person, that candidate, a huge boost, again, in the eyes of the public and the eyes of the media. So let's say Bernie Sanders did actually win. Well, now we're 2 days after the caucuses, and even if he wins, even if it's announced that he is in fact the winner of the caucuses, it doesn't matter. He's now lost this momentum. He'll get whatever delegates he ends up getting, but he doesn't get that typical surge or boost of positive coverage of people saying, oh, here's the winner. This is a viable candidate who people are voting for. And the psychology there is really important for people who are in the next states voting. So Pete is getting that surge. Pete is stealing that surge. Again, if it is in fact true that Bernie Sanders will pull this out, we'll see. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I want to move on to the results that we just got. Again, the timeline is we got 62% of results yesterday afternoon. Then around midnight Eastern time, we got up to 71% of the results. Now, hours and hours later, I believe it was 14 hours later, we got up to 75% of the results in. I mean, what are they doing? Literally, I don't know what they're doing. What is taking so long? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what is happening, why this is taking such a long time. So I can only figure that the slow roll of results releases is designed to give a boost to Pete Buttigieg. And from our previous reporting, that all makes sense because the people who are behind all of this are Hillary backers, they're Pete backers. There's, you might call people out there in the media and pundits and everyone else who are in the Democratic establishment are calling Bernie bros conspiracy theorists because we're putting the pieces together and we're seeing what's happening. So anyway, I digress for now. Let's take a look at what the results are. So here we have the last update came in at 2:26 p.m. Via the Iowa Democratic Party, but of course New York Times and other publications are releasing them on their own sites. And I happen to think New York Times one is easiest to navigate. So Pete Buttigieg here is highlighted as if he's the winner. I mean, this is typical to highlight the first candidate, but again, the psychology there is a casual political observer will see that. We'll see these headlines in the media, and we'll see that Pete's name is highlighted, and they'll just assume that he won. People don't follow this as closely as we do. So Pete at 11 pledged delegates, Bernie at 11 pledged delegates. Now, that again is an estimate, and it's important to note that Bernie is actually, Bernie, I don't think actually that. Okay, so what I was going to say is it gets kind of convoluted. So there's a few important things to understand about the way that this works. So we have the state delegate equivalents. So you'll see that those are reported right here. Pete at 442, Bernie Sanders at 414. And then we have the pledged delegates, which are equal right now. But the reason that the media and Pete Buttigieg are able to declare kind of a victory even before the full results are out is because Pete is leading in total state delegate equivalents. So, and you can see the percentage here. So Pete is at 26.9% and Bernie is at 25.2%. But what a lot of media are not reporting is that Bernie is winning in the popular vote. So Pete, we even have Pete on record saying that he believes we should go by the popular vote. Obviously, Pete can't change the Iowa rules by himself, but or the way that all this works. But it's kind of interesting, let's say, that he's an advocate for the popular vote, and he is in fact losing the popular vote right now. So you'll see right here, here's how Democrats voted in the first and final rounds. So Pete Buttigieg in popular vote had 28,922 votes. In the final vote, so there are different rounds of the caucuses, 33,199 votes. So he went up from 21.5% to 25.3% in the second round of voting. And again, I can't get into the full way the caucuses work right now, but basically there's a realignment. So there are some candidates who end up not being viable in the first vote, so they realign with a new candidate. So Pete earned some new votes there. So Bernie Sanders, in the first vote, he had 32,744 votes. And in the final vote, he had 34,235 votes. So he went up as well. He went from 24.3% to 26.1% of the popular vote. But you'll see right next to it, we have total state delegate equivalents. So Pete in the SDEs is getting 442 votes, which is higher than Bernie's 414 votes. So I think the point here that I want to make is we still don't have the full results. A lot of people in the media are actually reporting this as if we do. They're essentially saying that Pete is the winner, that Pete's going to win. Who knows what's going to happen once we get to 100% of the vote in. And I also think that they're really taking advantage of the confusion that people have surrounding how the caucuses work and even what state delegate equivalents are. So I actually want to show you this thread by Virgil Texas, who is one of the Chapo Trap House people. And I think he broke it down really, really well. So I just want to quickly go over this so you kind of get a feel for what's going on, because I think it's so important for people to truly understand why, even though Bernie is up in the popular vote, why Pete is, and they have the same delegate count, why they're able to say that Pete is winning right now. So Virgil says, okay, the first thing to know is the results released so far, which is 75% of precincts, are legitimate to the degree that no one has objected to them. Remember, these votes all took place in public, with the campaigns being immediately alerted to the results of each precinct. So I want to make a point before moving on. And the point is that Bernie has all of the results. Bernie's campaign has all of the results, as do all of the campaigns. They all keep track. It's all kept track of the entire time. So it will be interesting to see if Bernie will release the full results that he has and if there will be any sort of dispute. I don't know that there will be. And I don't know that it benefits Bernie to wait to release those results. I think he ought to release those results now. And honestly, he should be suing. This is ridiculous. They are stealing what is most likely a victory for Bernie Sanders, and they're painting it as a win for Pete Buttigieg in a very orchestrated way. So know that Bernie has the results. Bernie's campaign kept track of all of this. So if there are any discrepancies, then I hope that he will step up, and I truly believe that he will, but I think maybe he ought to do it preemptively, seeing as how this is taking such a long time and nobody knows why. Okay, let's go back to Virgil's thread here. Virgil goes on to say, Bernie leads in the popular vote released so far, which we talked about. Bernie is certain to win in the final count, meaning the final popular count. Bernie's campaign's own count, which they conducted faster than the Iowa Democratic Party, show him winning. In summary, Bernie won. At each of the 6,000 precincts, state delegate equivalents, SDEs, are elected. It's a convoluted multi-stage process that culminates in these delegates voting for the actual delegates who go to the national convention and pick the president. So essentially, these SDEs, these state delegate equivalents, are just a step in between the popular vote counts and the actual delegates that go on to the convention. So do you see how convoluted this is? Do you see how confusing this is for the average person who pays maybe just a little bit of attention to politics, or maybe it's not their life, they don't live and breathe it like you and I. So it's a real messed up system. So Virgil again or later says, in prior cycles only the number of SDEs would be reported, not the popular vote. So that's new this year. Most media outlets I've seen are still reporting SDEs as the results of the caucus, not the actual popular vote. The AP will call the race for whoever wins this count. Pete, and Virgil actually used a little rat emoji, which is taking off on the social media sphere, is using a rat for Pete. Pete currently leads in SDEs. He might lead in the final SDE count. This is why the media is reporting that he leads in Iowa, while Bernie plainly leads in the actual popular vote. Note, at the very end of this process, Bernie and Buttigieg will probably end up with the same number of pledged delegates to the DNC, give or take one. Now, ask yourself who won in a metaphysical sense. Is it the winner of the SDEs, which is a purely actuarial figure with no impact beyond being a vestigial extra step between the popular vote and the allocation of national delegates? Is it the national delegate winner? Bernie clearly won the Michigan primary last time around, but walked away with fewer delegates thanks to superdelegates. We nonetheless have broad consensus that he won. Many other states have some version of SDEs. Often primaries are multi-stage processes. Example, Texas in 2008, which held both a primary and a caucus, but the top line number always reported is the popular vote. There is no other metric for determining the winner. Bernie won. Thanks. So hopefully that kind of explainer from Virgil is helpful. I think the more people understand about the process and what's going on, the easier it is to see how the media is manipulating this and how Pete's campaign is manipulating what's happening. And the slow roll of the results certainly does not help at all. There are more shenanigans afoot when it comes to which results are being reported and which are not being reported. And Jordan actually tweeted about this earlier, so let's take a look. Polk County, Iowa submitted its full Iowa caucus numbers for all precincts nearly 24 hours ago. Yet the Iowa State Party has only released 112 of 177 precincts. Based on pre-caucus canvassing, this county was expected to be a Bernie Sanders stronghold, and so Jordan tweeted that this morning. Now this was before the latest update that we received around 2:30 Eastern time. So look, pay attention to this number. Polk County, 112 of 177 precincts reporting. And if we go back to the New York Times, we can go over to Polk County and see that 113 of 177 precincts are reporting. That means that they have only added one additional precinct from Polk County to their results. And again, as Jordan said, this county was expected to be a Bernie Sanders stronghold. So ask yourself, why are they holding off on these results that are a Bernie Sanders stronghold? They have all of the results from Polk County. We have the secretary for Polk County saying, yeah, we gave it to them. We have no idea why they haven't reported this. We have received no questions from them, from the Iowa Democratic Party. No questions at all. No concerns have been raised. They have the results. We delivered them in a timely manner from Polk County, but they're still not reporting the results. What's going on here? So again, more information about Polk County. This is Reed Epstein of the New York Times. New Iowa results show percentages for leading 2020 Dems are basically unchanged. So as you noticed, or in fact, I guess I did not show you, but yes, essentially the 71% of votes and then going up to the 75% of votes, the results were basically unchanged. So really that 4% extra in results that we got changed really nothing. So the biggest mystery here is why 2/3 of Polk County results are still not counted. Polk Dem Chair at Bagnewski says everything was delivered to the state party yesterday afternoon. And we have, there are tweets that Bagnewski has put up if you want to look at that. So we go here to another county, Black Hawk County caucus results. So this is Chris Schwartz, a Black Hawk County supervisor. Folks, I don't know what is going on with the Iowa Democratic Party and the slow trickle of results. I know for a fact that they have had the count from Black Hawk County for over 24 hours and will not clearly explain to anyone, not even me as an elected official, what the process is for releasing our results. I do not understand why these complete results were not released yesterday, and the leadership of the Iowa Democratic Party will not tell me. This is not a reflection on our hard-working party leaders like Vicki Brown, who are being left out in the cold just as much as you and me, and those who worked very hard this whole caucus season. So he actually listed the results. So Bernie got 2,149 votes and 155 county delegates. Buttigieg got 1,578 votes and 111 county delegates. I won't read the rest, but you can clearly see them there. So now we have people who were at these precincts, who were in these counties, who say, yeah, we delivered these results. The Iowa Dems have these results. There were no issues with the delivery and the collection of the results, even though that app screwed up, which it did, and being able to transmit the results to the Iowa Democratic Party. The paper trail was delivered properly and in a timely fashion to the IDP, the Iowa Democratic Party. So what's happening? What's going on? What possible explanation is there for this? None that I can think of. No reasonable explanation. The only thing that makes any sense at all is that the Iowa Democratic Party, and I'll show you some information that I have, that the head of the Iowa Democratic Party was a huge fan of Hillary Clinton. That the people around this shadow app that crashed and burned and screwed up this reporting was created by Hillary Clinton alums and by fans of Pete Buttigieg. So ask yourself, who is benefiting from this fiasco, this Iowa caucus disaster? It's Pete. Pete is the only one benefiting. The establishment who is backing up Pete they're the only ones benefiting, not the American people. This is a huge just stain on democracy. This is completely undemocratic, this entire process and the entire way that it's been handled. So what we know now, we don't know when 100% of results are going to be released, but we have reporting in again from Reed Epstein of the New York Times, who reports still more Iowa results coming this afternoon, a party aide says. The Iowa Democratic Party plans to release more caucus results Wednesday afternoon, which, as I'm recording this, is getting pretty late here, an aide said. The tabulation delays, which have now spanned more than 43 hours since caucusing began Monday night, stem from a clunky counting process put in place when the smartphone app that officials planned to use either failed or was not used by volunteer precinct organizers. Now, Iowa Democratic Party staff members in Des Moines are examining records of handwritten results worksheets from more than 1,600 precincts and checking the numbers against the data that has been entered into the party's computers. That process obviously takes time, said the state party aide, who declined to be identified. I don't buy it. I don't buy their continued little releases of reasons why this is taking so long. Clearly, this is going to take a while. No, not clearly. You've been doing this. You've been first in the nation for quite a long time. Sure, you tried to use an app this year that screwed up, but you assured the people that even if the app screwed up, ahead of the caucuses, you assured the people that even if the app screws up, it's okay. We have a paper trail. We'll still be able to clearly release the results and have accurate results. So I'm not doubting the accuracy of the results, but I am very much questioning the timing of the release of the results. It doesn't make sense. I don't buy the excuses. Let's go ahead and go to Mr. Troy. Mr. Troy Price, who is the head of the IDP. You can look here, Iowa Dems chair, lifelong Iowan, proud Democrat. So I did a little search here, and for Troy M. Price, his handle, and at Hillary Clinton. So here he is tweeting in 2016 that, hashtag I'm with her, tweeting from Hillary events, good friends and Hillary Clinton supporters, thanking delegates that final numbers at Iowa Democrats, Iowa Democratic Convention, 714 HRC, 571 Sanders, and saying basically thank you delegates that Hillary, had more. Talking actually, so this is interesting, at Bagnuski, who we talked about earlier, who is saying he doesn't understand why the Polk County results haven't been released yet. Well, Sean Bagnuski was actually a Hillary Clinton delegate in 2016. So I don't have anything to say other than that. I just think it's interesting to point out, like even he's confused. But again, we have Troy Price saying, I love Hillary Clinton delegates. Just excited, proud of the Hillary Clinton delegates. All about Hillary, so excited about Hillary. It goes on and on and on. I don't need to read every tweet to you, but hashtag I'm with her. Yet again, here he is holding his Hillary for Iowa sticker or pamphlet or whatever that is. I mean, yeah, again, obviously, even the chair of the Iowa Democratic Party is going to have a preference. But when you combine the fact that he was clearly such a Hillary fan in 2016, and openly so, with the fact that he's now in charge of releasing these results or not releasing these results, as the case is currently, you have to wonder. He's clearly not Team Bernie. What's going on, Troy? Your excuses and reasons for not releasing these results make no sense at all. And this is just another piece of the puzzle. One last thing here before I move on. And I'm hoping I'm not hoping they didn't release any results while I was live, but I'm hoping I'm not behind on the news. I'll have to check right after to see if they released any. I doubt it. But here we have CNN telling us to all calm down. There's no conspiracy here. 1 second.
Right. Just stop with the conspiracy theories. Stop. This was negligence is the word that you used. Incompetence might be another word. Meltdown might be another word. But stop with conspiracy. This is.
There you have it. CNN telling us to stop it. 1 second here. I'm trying to switch things around. My mouse seems to not be working properly. Oh no. Sorry. Bear with me. Actually, my mouse is not, in fact, letting me do much of anything right now. So I'm going to try to figure that out. So you won't see my face as I sign off. But just know that we're going to stay on this. We will continue to bring you reporting about what's going on, and none of it makes sense. So even if you hear the establishment media, the Democratic establishment telling you to stop your conspiracy theories in quotes, don't listen. We're people who have eyeballs. We have ears. We have brains. We can see what's going on. The fact that they are not releasing these results is absolutely, completely, 100% absurd. So we will stay on this. Please remember that Status Coup is able to report because of your support. Please become a member at statuscoup.com/join. You'll get lots of extra content. And Jordan will be on the ground. He just got back from Iowa. He'll be on the ground in New Hampshire very, very soon. So stay tuned and stay with us at Status Coup. Bye-bye.